Urban League is rich in history. Urban League is all about empowerment. I was just as a young man coming from Nigeria, 18-year-old. I was naive about Black history and the story of Black people in America because the colonial rule in Africa suppressed some of that story about slavery, about civil rights movement. So when I came to America, I was just immersed in that history. And I became a student of civil rights. And when I began to transition out of my banking career, I ran into the former CEO of the Urban League. There wouldn't be BGI, which stands for Business Growth Institute, without the entrepreneurship. You know, back in 2004, my first exit from corporate America banking, specifically, Myron Robinson shared a dream or a passion he had about, the frustration of trying to help those that have been displaced in the Black community through the manufacturing jobs that were going overseas. And people have skills, but they have nowhere to apply it to turn it into a business, into a job. So our people didn't have a place to go. And this was as recent as 2003. And then I'm a problem solver. So anytime I see a problem, I try to solve it. So I took it on as a project, and I began to run around the country looking for a solution on how we could provide technical assistance right here at the Urban League to help people to start a business, grow that business and sustain it and feed their family and really create wealth in the Black community. And that journey ended with the launch of our Entrepreneurship Center with a program called Small Business Development Center, which is an SBA program that is national. And we were the first in the history of SBA or SBDC to open an SBDC in a historical Black institution like the Urban League. And now I'm just so pleased to hear that, or to know that this center has been replicated in 13 major cities across the country. And it all started here in Cleveland. True empowerment comes from capital. Let's face it. True economic empowerment comes from if you could put capital together in a significant way to grow a business. Yeah, you can have a small business, feed your family and have one or two employees. But if you really want to scale up, you have to be in the game of leveraging capital, and you have to be a part of, it's called capital pool. To pull capital from multiple sources, both traditional and non-traditional, but equity and so on and so forth. So we just feel like, we've been helping a lot of businesses in this community to send them to get traditional loan. And statistics shows that about 60% get declined or don't get enough capital they need. So being a banker, I decided to use my skills and my relationship and talk to my banking colleagues on how we could solve this problem. So that's really the birth of UBIZ Venture Capital. But our true vision is what we're doing tonight, launching the Business Growth Institute, because Chase Bank challenged us to say, what could you do to move the needle? The $50,000 loan and $100,000 loan wouldn't take the Black community to the promised land. What we need is a significant capital infusion to create millions of businesses that could generate millions of dollars so that we could begin to create more quality jobs. Because the big picture here is Black families in Cleveland, household income is about 30-something thousand. I'm gonna let that sink in. 30-something thousand compared to 60-something thousand for national average. This is why Cleveland always ranked the poorest city in America with Detroit. That is not the statistic we want. Well, I've always thought about how do we celebrate success in the Black community. I notice we don't do that enough. We give awards for many things in the Black community, but when it comes to those that are making it financially, seems like as Black people, we shy away from that for some reason. And every time I bring it up, people agree, but nobody wants to do it because of the risk of being labeled elitist. And that is bad for our community. Every community celebrates, give awards, and celebrates success. But it looks like some people just want us to stay poor, generation after generation. And we have to reverse that. And I don't see the joy in celebrating poverty. We gotta come out of poverty. And to do that, we have to let our young people meet the Lonnie Coleman, the Mel Pye, the Vanessa Wagner, meet the Tillman Brown, okay? So they can know that it can be done, because the narrative we see these kids are exposed to are not the multi-million-dollar Black-owned businesses right here in Cleveland. So I'm just excited that we got to try to reverse this. I call it a curse. We got to reverse this curse and begin to celebrate Black business success. So that's what the Legacy Award is about. We're starting with 4, and it's not about making money. These individuals that we're honoring tonight are people that have impacted the community. They've been mentors. They're not just being selfish of living in a big house or a big car, or driving a big car, having a beautiful family. They give back. That was the major criteria. You made the money, but what have you done for the Black community? Who have you mentored? Who will say, had it not been for Lonnie Coleman, or had it not been for Tillman Brown, I would not have made it? That's a major requirement for this award. And these individuals, this gentleman and a lady, and then, of course, my very good friend, the late Tony Smith, Vanessa's late husband, a quiet, simple guy that really accomplished so much. And because he built such a strong foundation, that legacy continues to his children to have a business to inherit. So we want to promote building things that give asset to your descendants versus liability. So this is going to be a beginning of something great, and we're just excited to start it here in Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.